Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. This is your Z107.7 local news for Sunday, August 11th, 2024. So how are your plants doing? Other than some serious flash floods and downpours in 29 Palms, this summer's been relatively rain-free for the rest of the Morongo Basin. Small showers and periodic precipitation are no replacement for monthly monsoons and sustained storms that give the desert a drink and refresh the aquifer that our trees and ancient natives tap into. I've stepped up my watering of my outdoor plants to try to keep pace with the relentless heat. Certain natives I put in the ground well before summer are thriving. A museum Palo Verde I got for free from Joshua Basin Water District over a year ago has swollen up to twice its size, with new branches sporting tiny leaves and a deep, satisfying green that looks amazing in the fading pink light of a desert sunset. A couple pensimons from the Mojave Desert Land Trust are maintaining. Both were put in the ground in fall and flowered in spring. I thought I was going to lose a paper bag bush until it seemed to take root right before summer, and a whole variety of native plants popped up this winter with no help from me. My mom calls these tiny plants volunteers. I grew up in the mountains of Oregon where dozens of these volunteer cedar saplings would pop up each spring, and soon these tiny trees would be transplanted into pots by my mom and given to anyone who would take one. I'm going to start the practice up here in the high desert with my abundance of silver cholla and other native cacti that continue to grow. I was happy to hear on last week's Unique Garden Show with Mike Branning that he's suggesting folks give extra water to native plants and animals during the summer.
So I would definitely encourage everybody to, if you have natives in your yard, be it cactus, Joshua trees, native shrubs, they would definitely appreciate a good watering. And also, because of the lack of rainfall, it'd be totally cool if people would put out a dish with some water for the animals, because without any rain, they're definitely suffering right now.
Mornings and evenings are the best time to water, giving the plants time to soak up the H2O before the sun gets to them. I've also noticed the creosote in my backyard are drying out quicker than last year, so some of the larger bushes get a spray down every couple evenings. It smells great and reminds me of the times when the rains will return. Hillary Sloan did a great piece on the interconnectedness of the plants and animals here in the Mojave, and one of my favorite things she touched on was the mycorrhizal networks of fungi that sequester carbon in our desert soil, as well as help plants with water and nutrient uptake. I like picturing these microscopic networks under the soil waking up with each watering, helping the plants transport water and nutrients to where they need it most. If you haven't listened to the Unique Garden Show with Mike Branning, it's on every Saturday morning, and it's full of information you can only get from someone like Mike, who has a nursery here in Yucca Valley and always comes to the show with a wealth of desert growing information. And if you have a specific question about gardening here in the high des, you can call in and get an answer right on the air. It's also available as a podcast on our website, and it's 30 minutes of relaxing gardening conversation, a perfect companion to getting out in the evening and giving those plants and animals a drink. You can see Z107.7fm.com for a link to that podcast, along with some other desert gardening resources. And that's your news for Sunday. You can hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.